Hello and welcome to this taste challenge. I'm back for another one, and don't worry, I didn't drink too much. I'm not up here slurring my words. Just doing taste challenges, just doing it. I was watching a bunch of videos from this guy, a new channel I found called Scott's Rothskeller Beer Reviews and Knowledge. Pretty interesting, We'll see if he responds. Some people I write them comments and they'll be like, "Oh man, thanks for watching my channel," and "Oh yeah, I agree about the product so forth." Other people they just ignore you. He doesn't look like the kind that would, but you never know about people. Ooh, never know about people, right? Uh, Calvert, can't say it. Calvert Extra, 100% blended American whiskey, 80 proof. It says a blend of the finest whiskeys. Now, you think the finest whiskeys cost $8.99? Hello, Craig. About to go watch football, but I got time. All right, $8.99 at International Market in Metairie, Louisiana. Thanks for watching, Craig, and any others who want to watch. I told this story before in previous videos. It was caked with dust and it was grimy and disgusting looking, and I was even like reluctant to touch the bottle, much less examine it. But I looked at it carefully and I was like, I know we can't get this normally in Louisiana, as evidenced by the fact I've never seen it in Louisiana. But I have a feeling I could go home and take some very warm water, nearly hot water, and soap and clean it off and make it look respectable, which took some work because it was terrible. But I said, now the next question is, will it ring up and what's the price? So I went over to the counter. I said, can you check the price on this? They didn't mind. Ding, 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 $8.99. I said, I'll take it. Came home, did that, what I told you. And it doesn't look too bad. But I think this bottle's from 1995. Because from 1991 to 1995, Calvert Extra was owned by Jim Beam Company. Yeah. Yes. And then they sold it to Luxco. Now, the one you get from Luxco is going to say 70-30, 70% grain neutral spirits, 30% straight whiskey. No problem. But this has no commodity statement. And when a whiskey has no commodity statement, it must be pure whiskey. I didn't know that until a week ago when I read the regulation. I'm just sipping Carlsberg Pilsner. Oh, yeah, I love that stuff. But I enjoy listening to these challenges. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was out on the search for wheat beer today because Wednesday coming up, this Wednesday next week, we're going to do wheat beers. And I could have bought Blue Moon. I had different opportunities to buy Blue Moon, but I was like, nah, I want to wait and see if I can find something else. Although they didn't have a bad deal at Racetrack. Racetrack had a pretty good deal, 2-pint cans for a price. I might go over there and get that. Walmart has some pretty decent deal on 6-packs of Blue Moon, Haze. What's it called? Hazy. Haze Craze or something. Haze. They have Light Sky too, but I'm not buying a light Blue Moon. And then they have the Mango Wheat. The mango wheat might be the one I'll buy because I like that mango wheat. Man, that thing is primo. I have a can I saved. I might get that mango wheat. I'm starting to get the heebie-jeebies for it. David Cassidy says, "Hi, Ron," clinking the mugs and waving. Hello to you. Whoa, thank God for this rain. Keep coming, rain. Now here's the challenger, Gran Legacy. Kind of like Gran Torino, right? Not Grand, Gran Legacy. American blend. Blended whiskey with natural flavors. Oh, golly. I bought this at CVS Pharmacy. It's produced by the Legacy Distilling Company. You say, who in the world is the Legacy Distilling Company? Well, I'm not going to say who the Legacy Distilling Company is, but I bet you 2 Sazeracs that I really could tell you if I wanted to. Bet you 2 Sazeracs I wouldn't get it wrong. And then they show a crown on top of a shield with a copper pot still. I don't know what a crown has to do with Kentucky because I'm not aware that Kentucky has a king. I think Kentucky has a governor, right? Right. So I don't know what the purpose of that is. Maybe they didn't feel like taking the time and effort to change the label from their Canadian blended whiskey called Grand Legacy Canadian Blended Whiskey, which does have a crown, and it does make sense since Canada has a king. All right. But anyway, here's another interesting fact. It is a blended whiskey with natural flavors, which is meaningless because it's allowed to have natural flavor. Any American blended whiskey can have natural flavors, and they don't have to tell you about it. But there's no commodity statement anywhere on this label. Nowhere on here does it say percentage grain neutral spirits. And that always confused me. It confused me from the day I bought this for $10.99. True story. Yeah, you heard me right. This big jug of whiskey for $10.99. No, you're not going to get it for that price now because of the JB inflation. But I did, and I had my CVS card. So I'm thinking, oh, it's a CVS pharmacy private label brand from Sazerac. Makes sense. They do that for other companies. But Tuesday, I was at Star liquor store. It's really a gas station. They sell pure gasoline there, pure, no ethanol. And they have a lunch counter where they serve boudin and stuff. And they have a check cash in place in there. I don't know what they got. You could buy peanut butter and jelly in there. And aspirin. You know, it's like a convenience store, but it's really a liquor store pretending to be a convenience store. And I think that's something to do with Louisiana tax law. Like a liquor store has to pay a lot more taxes than a convenience store, which just happens to sell some liquor. And they do happen to sell some liquor, like the entire store, plus beer and wine. But, you know, hey, I'd do the same thing, you know. But that place is popular. Let me tell you right now, they're building a second location on the north side of Louisiana Highway 49. They're on the south side of Louisiana Highway 49, but they're building one on the north side. I don't know why it's taking so long to open. That's kind of strange. But well, when I go to Star, I feel like a star because I always find something interesting over there. And I mean always, not sometimes, always. So the point of that is I was in Star Tuesday and they had Grand Legacy on the shelf. Grand Legacy on the shelf. I think it was the Canadian version, Canadian one, which I haven't cracked open my bottle yet. I said, well, I'm saying this to myself. Well, how can it be a private label if it's at Star? Star is not CVS Pharmacy. So apparently it's not. It's just something that CVS happened to sell for real cheap. Kind of like Bandolero tequila and Kings Bay rum. I saw it at Albertsons all the time. So I'm figuring it's Albertsons private label brand. I go to Star, they got Bandolero on the shelf and they got Kings Bay on the shelf. I said, well, you know, they had to buy it from a distributor unless they're involved in organized crime, which, well, it is Louisiana. So, okay, never mind. Maybe. All right. I love that store. All right. David Cassidy says, we have a prison escapee running around here. I know I've been praying that he'll get caught. Dead or alive. Stanley Wayne says, you are a star. Cheers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a star. All right. But then what did Sly and the Family Stone say? Everybody is a star. Everybody is a superstar. Okay. Let me mix them up real well because I don't know if I did that. So these are both 100% whiskey. There's no grain neutral spirits. That has to be the case because otherwise they broke the law. And you've got a tort and you can win. I mean, you may not win much. It probably wouldn't be worth your time and effort, but you could win. Okay. But that is the law. It must have a commodity statement telling you what percentage is grain neutral spirits. This bottle has no commodity statement, therefore it contains no grain neutral spirits. It's all 100% whiskey. How could they sell pure whiskey for $10.99? I don't know. But I bought it. Now you say, I know how. They sell the worst whiskey available. That's probably true. That's a good guess. That's probably what they did. Sazerac got a lot of whiskey. It ain't all good. They're not going to waste it. They brought it. They sent it to CVS, and I bought my bottle. All right. Man, now I wish I had bought that Grand Legacy Scotch. I didn't buy it. I was like, well, maybe one day I'll buy it. It was only $11.99 for the handle. But I think they got rid of all the Grand Legacy whiskey that they had. Gin, bourbon, rum, everything. They got rid of all the Grand Legacy products. Maybe it wasn't selling or they wanted to just go with premium products. Go to any CVS, it's all gone. The only Grand Legacy they got left over here is the vodka. Yeah, just a few bottles left. Probably they say, well, just keep them around till they sell. So just goes to show you, when you think about buying something and you don't buy it, chances are the next time you go back to the store, it ain't going to be there. Now, am I going to have a conniption fit because I didn't buy Grand Legacy Scotch? I don't think so. I'm sure I'll survive, but it would have been nice to try it because, I looked at it. I held the bottle, had a plaid label, all the Scottish stuff. But I said, I'll wait. It's sad because I had the money at the time anyway. Could have bought it. It was within my budget. Olive Fire says, you are a star. Amen. I heard that. What was that noise? That was thunder. Sounded like an explosion, unless it was here at my house. I don't know. Yeah, it was thunder. CVS here don't sell booze, says David Cassidy. Well, they do here. And in fact, they have their own brands, like Jethro T. Boots. Now, I know Jethro T. Boots is a CVS brand of bourbon whiskey because it has a sticker on the back that said, this bottle should only be sold at CVS Pharmacy. If you see it anywhere else, call this number. So there's a number you can call. They probably pay you money for calling them if you saw it somewhere else. I'd call if I saw it somewhere else. You better believe I'd call it. Might get $10, Who knows? Might get $100. I doubt it. Okay. This smells like I don't know what this smells like. Okay. Some kind of strong, but it's only 80 proof, so not that strong, but strong, it's still 80 proof. Go spend the day drinking a bunch of 80 proof whiskey, see if it doesn't matter. You'll find out. It matters. If you're stupid enough to drive a motor vehicle, you might find out it really matters. Yeah, it just smells like corn whiskey. Oak barrel. Not sure what else. Let's go over here. It smells like the same, but less of it. You see what I'm saying? It's the same, but less of it. So I'm thinking now, initially, that's got to be the Calvert in my left hand, but I'm not too sure because I got both 100% whiskeys and there's no filler. Although the Grand Legacy says natural flavors. But that's a meaningless statement. I mean, let's be honest. Enough's enough. Any of these blended whiskeys could have flavoring added. I don't care what brand it is. If I'm wrong, you'll have to show me I'm wrong, because I'm telling you, I'm not wrong. Okay. I didn't say they did have flavoring. I said they could have flavoring. And they probably do have flavoring. Now you might say, well, I got a straight bourbon. I didn't say a blended. I didn't say straight bourbon. I said blended bourbon or blended whiskey. I didn't say anything about straight bourbon, which obviously cannot have flavoring added if you read the law. Um, this one tastes a little flat, to tell you the truth. Is it a bad flavor? No, it's not a bad flavor. It's just a lack of flavor. It's just kind of. Oh, y'all want to know what beer I was drinking today? I'll tell you if you want to know. Two good beers, too. I drank one bottle of one brand, and then I drank 2 cans of another. I say it's 2. I don't think I drank 3. I drank 2. And then I couldn't remember. I was like, I shouldn't have thrown those cans away. I don't remember how many I drank, but I think it was 2. And I was like, well, discretion is the better part of valor. I won't drink a third, or maybe it was a fourth. You know what I'm saying? I'll be cool about it. And then I'll do these taste challenges. Then I won't have all that beer in me, and I could keep my head together and do the challenges, which I think has worked out. Now, if I start screaming and hollering and crying on air and pass out, then that would be evidence that it was not a good decision. Okay. It's an okay taste, you know. It's really, it's just like normal, regular old bourbon flavor. You see what I'm saying? Like, just if somebody says, hey, I got a question for you, and you say, what is it? And they say, what does whiskey taste like? And you say, you mean specifically or in general? Oh, just in general. You tell them, well, try this. Then they try it. They say, it's very corn oriented. Tastes like a lot of corn. You say, well, that's America, land of the free. With little pink houses for you and me. You say, well, that's what it generally tastes like. Now, there are some specific products that have unique flavors. This is just a generalized flavor. Oh, yes, I get the picture. That's what would work there. You'd say, but there's a lot better ones than this. This is just a plain Jane version, you see. Nissan never did contact me. They never did send me an email. They cold called me yesterday. Nissan cold called me yesterday, or one of their dealerships cold called me. Our used car department is really looking for used Nissans. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. And they were wondering about my car. What about your car? I said, it's running great. How do you like it? I said, I love it. Any problems with it? I said, no. Have you had any repairs on it? I said, not a single one. Any damage? I said, no. It's in perfect condition, or near perfect, after 2 years. I knew what they were leading up to. Well, we would really be interested in looking at your car and giving you a price on it and buying it. I said, oh, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what. Here's the story. I'm not going over there to show you my car, because I don't want a car. I have a car. And the lady's like, well, wouldn't you like to get a new car? I said, no. And she said, oh, well, they didn't know what to say. I said, I'll tell you what. Let's make it simple. I'm telling you the car is in good shape. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm insane. I said, but you called me, right? So chances that are minimal. I said, how about you just send me an email telling me what you'd pay me for it? And if I go over there and the car is not in the shape I told you, then you could just tell me, forget it. I said, but you called me, so obviously I wouldn't do that. So just send me the email. So then an hour later, the guy calls, the big man, the manager calls. Hey, I want to talk to you about this. I said, okay. He said, sorry to bother you. I said, you're not bothering me. Then he says, yeah, goes to the whole thing. I said, well, just send me the email. Tell me the price. He said, you think you'll come over here? I said, I seriously doubt it. I said, but it's within the realm of possibility, depending on that price. It is within the realm of possibility, although it's highly unlikely. He said, well, you should expect an email from me within the next hour. I said, okay. And I'm going to give you that price. I said, okay. It's been 24 hours and never got a price. So that aggravates me. Don't call me and tell me you're going to do something, then you don't do it. So I'm going to remember those guys. And next time I see them, I'm going to say, see you? Y'all call people and you aggravate them, and then you don't do what you're going to say. And I didn't even want a new car. I don't want a new car now. The flavors here are obviously Calvert Extra flavors. They got cherry. I don't think they're adding cherry flavor into it. I don't think they aged it in cherry wood. But for whatever reason, it has a cherry flavor. I can't figure it out. I can't explain it, but it's there. And it has a caramel flavor. It has wood. It has, I don't know what it has. You say, I know what it is. It's Booker's. It's Basil Hayden. They had some Basil Hayden. Some of the Basil Hayden didn't come out quite right, and they dumped it and watered it down to 80 proof, and they sold it to you for $8.99. Well, let's hope that's true, because it sure tastes good. It's pretty good. I'm not kidding. Now, we did a duo review, and my friend David was quite less than thrilled. You can watch the video. Quite less than thrilled. Well, like I always tell him, I say, call it as you see it. If you think it's rotten, say it. If you think it's average, say it. If you think it's good, say it. If you think it's excellent, say it. Don't sit there and hem and haw for me. And then as soon as I cut off the camera, you tell me it really wasn't that good. No, don't tell me that. Tell me the truth. He's told me that before. Well, it really wasn't that good, but I didn't want to say it on the camera because I didn't want to upset people. I said, no. That's not how beer reviews work. You say it on camera. If the people get upset, let them get over it. All right. But with this product, he was very open about it. He didn't like it on camera or off. I mean, he liked it okay, but he didn't like it too much. He gave it a C. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think it's much better than a C. I just love that caramel flavor and that cherry. But anyway, like Jesse Jackson said in 1984, the point is moot because you can't get it. I mean, in any practical sense, you can't get it. But who knows? I bought it. I found it, right? So let's look at the label. Ha ha ha! I knew it. 100 out of 100 taste challenges. I mean, 100% out of 100. You know what I'm saying? 100% correct so far. So that's really exciting. So I got 100% of it right so far. I think Seagram's 83 could be a problem because it has some very exotic flavors, but I still don't think I'll confuse it. I don't think I'll confuse it. And then we'll wind down with Kessler and can't think of the name of it. Sunnybrook. Yeah, Kessler, Sunnybrook, Clubhouse. Clubhouse, that one's pretty grim. Now that's when you really need money. When you're buying Clubhouse, that's when your budget is bad. But I'm still not saying it's horrible. But you know, when you got that at your house, your budget ain't looking good. But it exists for a reason. And then I've got what's that other Heaven Hill? I saw it. Oh yeah, the Roy the Heaven Hill blended. Oh man, that thing is a mess. That is a mess. I can't wait to show that one. That is a train wreck. That is a dumpster fire. That is funny. It's funny though, but it's like Karen said in Goodfellas. It's funny. It's funny. You know, the helicopter. Want to see helicopters? But but it is fun. But and then I've got the great all-time blended whiskey champion from America, which half the liquor companies think is from Canada because they don't do their research. I think was it Total Wine was saying this on their website. This great Canadian whiskey. I'm like, dude, I don't even talk like that, you know? But I'm like, man, get it together. Seagram 7 is not from Canada. I wanted to call Total Wine on the phone and say, Seagram 7 is from Indiana. What are you talking about, Canada? But that's going to win. No way Calvert Extra is going to beat Seagram 7, the all-time champ. But it will be a battle royale, you know. All right, so let's see. Last comments. Um, Daryl Macias says, cheers, Ronald. I found some Jack Daniels bonded rye this past weekend. Oh, yes. Yes, that has shown up here. It has arrived in the last 2 weeks. Jack Daniels bonded whiskey. Now I've got a bunch of Jack Daniels rye. And that's some good stuff. That is no joke. That is some good old stuff. But no, you're talking about the bonded, and that's about $50. Yeah, about $50 a bottle. But I think it's going to be really good. And I don't think I'll be buying it. But anyway, but yeah, it looks really good. Okay, John Cougar reference, says Craig Swinson. Yeah, your truck is not that old. I don't have the truck. I traded in the truck. I have a Nissan 4-door with that gas mileage. Boy, I'm loving that gas mileage, 39 miles to the gallon now. But yeah, the truck was good. I mean, that Dodge, oh, I'm sorry, it's a Ram. But it is a Dodge. But they say, oh no, it's not a Dodge, it's a Ram. And when my battery went dead and I called the warranty office, you know, their customer service, I was like, my battery is dead. The truck was only like a year old. And the lady's like, oh, well, we'll come replace it for free, which they did. She said, now, what color is your Dodge? I'm thinking, what color is my what? This is from the company now. What color is your Dodge? And I wanted to tell her, isn't it a Ram? But I didn't argue. I said, oh, it's white. And they came in and replaced it, you know, the battery. But I'm thinking, wow, it's not a Dodge, but the company's calling it a Dodge. Okay, fine. But that 4-door Nissan, that thing is living large on that gas mileage. Oh my goodness. What a deal. What a deal. Clubhouse, when you care to serve only the very best, laughing out loud. Yeah, right. I think you meant to write the very worst. Oh, it's not the, well, maybe it is the worst. I think the only worst blended whiskey I ever tried was that Kentucky Gold. And I can buy a whole full bottle of that. They have it at Star, Kentucky Gold. I said, man, if this is the gold, I would hate to try the silver or the bronze because Kentucky Gold is so, oh man, that is just too much. Olive Fire says, I really like that Jack Daniels rye. Yeah, he's not talking about the Jack Daniels rye though now. He's talking about the Jack Daniels bonded rye, bottled and bond rye. It's a new one. It's 100 proof. $30. Wait a minute. You got a bottle for $30? The Jack Daniels bonded rye? Ooh. Did you hijack the truck? We need trucks up here in New Hampshire because of snow. Yeah, I understand. And I bought the truck and I liked the truck and the Ram truck was very good. I never paid for any work on it. I mean, it was still in warranty when I bought it, when I sold it, I think, right? I mean, that truck was so good. I think the seats were so comfortable. Man, that was the most comfortable seats I ever sat in a vehicle, but it would make me fall asleep. I'm not joking. Like, it was so comfortable. You'd be driving and you'd just be falling asleep. I mean, it was like too comfortable, you know. And that smooth engine, I mean, that it was like 300 horsepower. I don't. What am I gonna do with 300 horsepower? I don't haul anything big like that. Oh, but what a truck! Oh, what I recommended? You better believe I recommended. That was the Ram. The Ram, and they still make it. They call it the Ram Classic. They make two different models of the same truck: the new Ram and the Ram Classic. But you can get the Ram Classic way cheaper. And it's a powerful truck. Uh, but I had the extended cab. No, what am I saying? I didn't have the extended cab. I had the single cab. It just had a back part to it. We had a storage area behind the seats. But you could store a lot of stuff. I could store a whole. Oh, you could store 10 grocery bags back there. I mean, it was big. But that truck, the whole truck was huge, too big. You know what I mean? Every time I went to park in a grocery store, it was like some kind of big challenge. But that truck was nice now. And somebody told me, you can't get a truck for that price. I said, oh, yeah? You forgot who you were talking to. And I did buy it brand new for that price. So you're wrong and I'm right. Oh, it was on sale. The regular price was 40. Still, I'm seeing it like I think it's like 46 over here. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not going to buy it anyway. I got too much rye whiskey. Well, I mean, I got too much Jack Daniels rye. Look how much Jack Daniels rye I've got for 700 milliliters. Where's the platinum? What are y'all talking about? Platinum was more expensive than gold. Oh, yeah, but there's no such thing as Kentucky Platinum. Off topic. Tried Breckenridge Autumn Ale, 7% last night. 2 were enough, says Jack Dupp. Well, we don't get Breckenridge in Louisiana, unfortunately. So every now and then, Total Wine will sell Breckenridge Christmas Ale. But that's it. That's the end of the story. Stanley Wayne says, I just had a Colt 45 and now I'm opening a Mickey's. Two winners. Cash money talks, says Craig. Oops, going off topic here with metallic chemical elements. Right. Yeah, Craig, when I bought that truck in 2018, and that was a very good Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealership. And I would go back to them in Metairie, Louisiana. And they were very nice and there was no hostility or anything. I just went in there and the guy was really nice. I mean, he was like really nice. I drove the truck around. I was like, oh yeah, I'd buy this, And he was saying, and I had a Dodge Avenger, which was very good on gas mileage too, I might add. They don't make those anymore. So, and then he was like, well, okay. He said, well, let's look. He had all his paperwork out. He took all his paperwork out, all these forms. He said, okay, now you could buy the truck and everything. He said, now we got to look at the financing. He said, so I'm going to need your bank information. And he's taking out an ink pen and all this. I said, wait a minute. What are you talking about? I said, I'm going to write a check for the full amount. I'm going to buy the truck cash today. I'm going to give you the full amount for the vehicle. So he just like stared at me for a minute. And then he pushed all the paperwork across the table. He just like pushed the paperwork across the table. And he said, I'm going to go talk to the dealership manager. I'm going to be right back. I said, okay. I'm just sitting there, Then he comes back and he sits down and he says, the manager said we could do that price. I said, that's what I thought. I said, I was thinking that might happen, So, of course, wrote the check. Got the vehicle. So that was a good, I'll tell you, money talks. Like when you go in there, the first thing they told me, like, we want to check your credit. Like my grandmother was like that. She went to buy that great car too, by the way. Remember the old cab forward from Chrysler? They call it cab forward. She bought a Plymouth. You know what I'm talking about. It was the Dodge, Plymouth, Eagle, Chrysler, and they had Eagle, and they were nice. They were like good cars in the 90s. She went over there in 98. And my grandmother was like this old lady that people would always like look at like, who is this old incompetent? And she was at that Chrysler dealership and she's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm paying full cash right now for it. But she said people start running all kind of directions. Oh, yes, ma'am. You want some coffee? And she bought the vehicle cash and left. Anyway, all right. Thanks, folks, for watching. The winner here, as usual, is Calvert Extra. But I got to admit to you that it's going to get killed when I bring up the Seagram 7. But that's going to be about a week from now. But I don't know, at this rate, might be tomorrow. The way I'm rolling along, But yeah, so get ready for tomorrow evening at 6:30 Eastern, because we have Fandango Friday, and I have a very interesting liqueur. And I'm sure most people never even heard of it, much less tasted it. All right, bye-bye, everybody. Y'all take care now.